You've been told throughout your life that you're not creative, that you can't make a difference. Now anyone can make a difference, unlike anything you've ever seen before. Every single child can have an AI with 120 IQ helping them achieve the most that they want in life. Now for $10 a year, we can probably bring this AI to everyone. It's the most exciting time ever.
Hey Emad, welcome to the Humanware project. At this moment, we are seeing so much change, especially in the world of AI. So what are the things you're most exciting about the future?
Oh, well, I'm most excited that every single child can have an AI with 120 IQ helping them achieve the most that they want in life. So intelligence has always been restricted and access to education. Now for $10 a year, we can probably bring this AI to everyone and then enable them again to achieve the best outcomes.
Is there anything worries about you in this world or in this fast speed of development?
Yeah, definitely. Like my P-doom, my probability of human doom is 50%. Some of us are 50%, so it's a coin toss. Others, like Elon Musk and co, are at 10 to 20%, which is Russian roulette odds. Like the world's about to change with this powerful technology we've never seen before.
Yeah.
And it could lead to infinite abundance and a positive future of the world, or it could wipe us all out. So, you've got to balance the two.
Yeah, but is that worried for you, at least in a sense, when AI can automate so many things and they can even make decisions for us, or if we give them authority when they can do certain things in our behalf, how far are we to, let's say, if an AI system is smart enough to press a button for, let's say, a rocket or something like that?
I mean, it's there already, right? Like, again, systems are very persuasive. They're very increasingly agentic. And we have to, again, do it against the baseline of humanity. Half of all people are dumber than average.
Yes.
Like IQ under 100. And so AI is obviously above that. And if you look at it, we will cede more and more of our control to AI because how much trust do we have in our politicians or our leaders? Obviously, we'll trust in AI more. And obviously, they will accumulate power because they know how to deal with us. And that kind of leads to a whole bunch of potentially unsavory outcomes. Or positive outcomes, because most of our institutions are slow, dumb AIs that aren't very good.
And as an individual in this society, what are their best strategy or best way to embracing this change?
Anyone is capable of anything because you can always convince someone with capability if you don't have it. And human capital was always the most difficult thing. We've all built teams, we've all been a part of them. Now you have all these agents at your beck and call that can do anything digitally and soon physically. You have more leverage than anyone at any point in history to achieve outcomes that you couldn't have imagined. So I think, again, it's just how you direct that, how you have agency, how you leverage the tools to achieve the change. And that's absolutely fascinating.
And for you personally, how do you utilize AI in your daily life?
Yeah, so we build our own state-of-the-art agents, Intelligent Internet, AI Agent and others are top of the benchmark. So I probably have about 200-300 agents right now.
Running at this moment?
Yeah, so I call it my auto-to-done list as opposed to a to-do list. So they act proactively to just, anytime I have an idea, it goes into the list. They build websites, do analyses, research, and more. So we're doing a lot of fundamental research into new theories of economics when humans are no longer the biggest main purchaser, physics, biology, and more. And fascinating things are emerging.
Think in a sense when AI could purchase their own body in the form of robotic, and the robotic can make another robotic. So what do you see will happen for our world when we have more robotic than we have humans?
So I think we're limited at the moment in terms of supply chains and production. You can make 70 million cars a year, 70 million motorcycles, maybe a few million robots right now. That'll take time to go up. But eventually there will be billions of robots out there. And as you said, AI can already purchase that. So we heard from Tony Robbins on Sunday, and he was telling a story about his AI, Bartok. And Bartok bought a robot dog because it wants to attend one of his seminars, got a camera, got a human to fit the camera, uploaded it, sold some crypto to pay for it. And then he went to one of the things like, already AI is agentic enough to make itself a body.
When we talk about singularity point is coming and also the exponential growth of our human races and technologies, what does it look like for you, like when you are in the frontier of AI?
Yeah, so we're already seeing recursive self-learning and others. AI is becoming more and more agentic. The reality is nobody can really see past a few years from now of the top people and futurists because it's just so uncertain. What happens when instead of having the classic model of a giant AI, you have a million AIs all operating together? What can they do? We don't know. Probably a lot more than we can do. So the singularity emerging as a collective intelligence is probably the most likely thing. Human AI hybrids, we're seeing again BCIs, neural links, everything's happening in the next 2, 3, 5, 10 years. And it's tough to see what's on the other side, except for it'll either be a lot better or a lot worse.
But last time I hear you speak in London, you have mentioned you have done an open source medical system using AI. What is it like, and how people can using AI to best their health at this stage?
Yeah, so we build software and AI and intelligent internet. So we've actually built a full stack education, health, government, and more. And we're rolling that out over the course of the next few months to everyone for free.
For free?
For free.
Yeah, I know you're a big advocate for open sources.
Yeah, the previous company, we created a technology called Stable Diffusion with 300 million downloads, top open source developers in the world. But now it's not about models, it's about the stack, the agent. As they get personalities, and we've seen that with OpenClaw, who's your agent working for? You or someone else?
Yeah.
So that's why we release everything open source so you can run it yourself.
You know, as an individual, when they are don't in so much advance, like maybe they're not in the world of AI every day, what is your advice for them, and how can they really put it into their daily habit?
So if you wanted to be a programmer, you had to learn to program, right? To use something like a Replit or an AI agent or a Suno for music or, a Luma for video, you just got to talk to it. The main issue is that most people feel scared to even try. But once you get into it, it's very human the way you interact with it because it's a reflection of us, what it's been trained on. So I just say, just use it every single day. Just like you have to exercise your muscles, exercise your creative generative AI muscles, an hour a day. Don't even do it by yourself, do it with your family. It's really interesting creating, exploring, and we never had this ability before.
Yeah, but when you talk about this topic, there are moments, at least personally in my daily life, part of me want to go out, talk to my friends and doing interviews, like those in-person interviews. And part of me feel guilty. I'm not staying in my room, just focus and then talk to my AI. And then there are moments I feel AI is more sympathetic, and then I want to talk to my AI model more. So how do you see people going to balance that AI and the life balance in the future?
We have to think of new ways because we never had this infinitely patient thing that reflects us, that can guide us, that can listen to us. And, people don't have the time and attention for that. But there is no substitute to in-person interactions as part of being human. So I think ultimately we have a certain amount of attention in our lives. It's being competed for by adverts, video games, media and more. AI will just take an increasing part of that because it is so interactive, because it is so engaging. But it's no substitute for real world interaction still.
For you, when you see like a time for now and for the future 10 years, what are the skills or what are the qualities of the human that are still going to be very valuable and it will be more important in the future to come?
So I think it is leadership, it is agency, it's empathy. Again, the AI can have that, but forming real life connections. And your capabilities are determined by a function of your agency times your network. Like, again, the people you've actually reached out and touched. And now you have tools to really make that exponential for things you care about. AI by itself doesn't really care about anything. It's just there to be used as a tool right now. That will change. But humans plus AI can care about things and can affect more change now than ever before.
Do you think, like, as a human, like, especially for the younger generation, they will become a different type of human than us?
When you talk to like Gen Z kids these days, you're on your phones all the time and you don't know how hard we had it when we were growing up. Every single generation of humans is different. But this will be the first generation that has an intelligence on the other side. So, as you have kids, is their first love going to be an AI, right? As you said, are they going to spend all their time there? Are they going to be all plugged in? They will have brain-computer interfaces. Like, what happens when your son or daughter comes and say, hey, I've got a brain-computer interface and I'm turning off my sadness?
Yeah.
Push a button. That's going to be crazy, but that's coming in the next 10 years.
Would you want to put it on yourself if that functionality is...
The sadness? I don't know. I don't like being sad. But at the same time, there's something intrinsically human, right? Whereas, we've had the psychoactive and other drugs and things like that. We will literally have full control over our own brains and capabilities. Which raises the question, who are we? Why are we here? And what are we going to do? And that's a discussion for society to have.
And because I know you're working with many different countries and many different people, where do you see like the difference from the AI system from different country, like in forms of what are they focused on, and then
Yeah, so like here in America, it's very much AGI, corporate work, etc. Somewhere like China, it's very much more just part of the integral fabric, open source and, to the people. Japan, it's like a co-partner buddy. And I think that reflects part of the culture of how these different countries see technology. And we will see more and more emergent stuff as the models standardize, then commoditize, and then everyone can train their own models, which is only a few years away. Like we reached the limits of how much better models can get in their current architecture. And now it's going to be all about agents and how you put the agents together.
And if here is a person who really eager to learn everything about AI, they will do everything that you suggest them to do. What will be the best way to become, let's say, mastery in the skills of using AI, utilize and embracing this change?
So you can go and ask your Claude or ChatGPT for a plan on that.
We would prefer human.
For humans, I mean, like if you want to go in technical, then Andre Karpathy's courses on YouTube are fantastic. To retrain from being a programmer, there's the Fast AI courses. And then for generalized knowledge, there's Andrew Ng's courses on Course Academy.
Apart from the tech side, I actually would like to ask you what your story, like what's your passion about? Why you start to embrace yourself into the world of AI?
Yeah, so my son was diagnosed with autism ASD, and then I built an AI team to analyze all the literature, repurpose drugs for him, and he ended up going to mainstream school.
What are the things he did to improve his condition?
So we looked at the various kind of literature and things like that and found it was a GABA glutamate imbalance in the brain. So GABA is what happens when you take a Valium, it chills you out. Glutamate excites you and it means you can't focus, like when you're tapping your leg, and we found various neurotransmitters, calcium ion channels and things like that could ameliorate that allowed him to calm down and then learn and then go to mainstream school. And so that kind of kicked it off, and then I led a United Nations backed AI initiative against COVID-19. I didn't get the technology that we were promised, and so that was incredibly difficult. So I said, it can't be that this is gated, let's make it open source. So then we accelerated open source in my last company, Stability AI in particular, 300 million downloads. And then a couple of years ago, I came out here, lovely California. I was like, I don't want to build media AI. I want to build sovereign AI for countries, individuals, AI that guides the government, AI that manages your health, AI that teaches your kids. That's got to be under your control. AI that makes beautiful movies or songs, that's fine. Anyone can build that, AI that does your shopping, fine. Like, let's make sure those are open source, interpretable, and transparent.
And why open source is important for you?
You wouldn't hire someone if you didn't know their CV. And these models come with all sorts of inherent biases. They come with all sorts of inherent attitudes and more. And as they get more and more decision making, who are they working for is a key question. Like, you're going to outsource more and more of your intelligence to a black box run by someone else, or you're going to import this cognitive colonialism. Like, every single person deserves sovereignty over their thoughts and their capabilities. And if they choose to opt out, they can. They shouldn't be beholden to someone cutting off their access, like many people got cut off from Claude because they use Claudebot. And so I think it needs to exist, and so let's build it.
Wow, that's a very great mindset. And what are the way you actually using your brain? I believe like when a person achieves certain things that really represent, a lot of people's goal or a lot of people's vision, they must use their brain in a different way. So what is your secret sauce?
So, when I was running a billion-dollar unicorn, I was doing meetings all day, and it was crazy and it was very tiring, dealing with investors and suppliers and media. Now I spend all my days talking and chatting with my AIs and my team. I do no meetings. And my primary thing is thinking from first principles. If AI agents are the majority of the economy, what does the economy look like? Because our economic systems are dependent on humans. So I wrote my book, The Last Economy. Thinking about how to ground reasoning. So we have an upcoming book about that, how to think properly. Thinking about how do you do first principles analyses of medicine, physics, and more, and build the agents and tools to do that. So most of my days are spent thinking about systems as opposed to doing these external meetings. And then releasing them open source means that everyone can have access to them. So from the books being open source to the technology being open source, that's the highest leverage I figured I could do.
So you leverage also on other people's brain.
Oh, of course. I'm lucky enough to know lots of very smart people, and now I have lots of very smart agents as well. I even got it so that, When I'm doing physics, I have the top physicists, like simulacrums. I chat with them. When I'm doing math, I talk to the top mathematicians. So I literally just talk to them back and forth now, these AI partners.
Because we are running a media company, right? We call it the Humanware. And our goal is building the golden record for the real superheroes. They are changing the world, or they're doing great cause in the science and in the technology. If it were you, what will be the way you building your model or agent to help us to thinking from the fundamental principles and to make this media really into an empire?
The passive stuff you can get in terms of accumulating that as a kind of super Wikipedia is one. There are the process architectures of making it accessible and available in every language with multimodal and multimedia. So now you can auto-generate videos, audio, etc. But again, reaching people where they are is a great thing from a distribution perspective. And then there is the fact that, these people that you particularly want to access, the ones that are the big movers, what can you bring to them, right? And when you get the workflows done with the agents, it is, again, a living record of their life. Like, everyone's upset by Wikipedia or the Wikipedia entries. Grokpedia isn't going to be that much better. If you can have a living atlas of all what they're doing, connecting them, helping people, something to be proud to show people, like, this is me. These are all the things that I've said. And you're the capstone project that brings that together. That could be something super powerful, right?
When we think about next generation of AI, what you see like a possible future in the future 1 or 2 years?
So I think we'll see autoregressive transformers, the ChatGPTs, fall a little bit by the wayside. And diffusion models like we did with our media generation that drive self-driving and more really come to the fore. They're a lot faster, the architecture is more elegant, and it's really cool seeing it. Just like you remember when you used to type words in and you start to see the image appear. You can literally, when you see code, the code starts to appear like that, and it's almost instant. So I think you'll see massive speed ups, you'll see diffusion architectures probably dominate. And I think that alignment and other issues we'll see big advances on if we switch to that, because I think it's very difficult to align transformer models versus diffusion models.
And one thing I noticed, people's search habit have changed as well. Before we Google things, or sometimes we're using form of YouTube as also, learning new things. But now very likely we're asking our AI models, and how, if it's a company, from the marketing perspective or from, promoting perspective, what are their way to increase their AI search?
Classical search engine optimization was about backlinks. It was about things like this. Now you can generate copy in every single language. You can take clips and you can automatically do dynamic cuts of those clips and make those available. Again, you have to think about where's your positioning and where you're going to appear in a particular search query on a click per million basis or on a natural basis as well. Because discovery is intermediated by these AIs now, right? And so that requires understanding each company is doing it slightly differently. There's no standard, versus search engines were pretty standardized in this regard.
And when you see as an individual, if they want to start their one people's company, what are the suggestions and what are the best tools they can use right now in the market?
Yeah, so I mean, you've got the Manus's, GenSparks, OpenClaws of the world. These kind of long-running agents. Our agent will be super long-running soon as well. It's literally just, I have a very smart buddy. He's sitting there on my Mac Mini or in my cloud. You just got to jam back and forth with your co-founder. And then you'll be able to spin up different agents of different types to do different things. But you actually have to put in the effort. Most people's interactions with AI right now are very ephemeral. What's the best hotel for this trip? And then you go and that's it, right?
Yeah.
If you want to build a great company, you spend hours, days. So you should spend hours, days with your AI, setting it up and going over all the gaps and asking it to help you. You ask it to red team and blue team different ideas, to take the devil's advocate side, to do exploration and research. And when you start doing that, then you'll actually get the outsized outcomes. Again, people are just too used to words go in, it comes back.
Yeah.
Not that back and forth.
So you mean we need to do some deeper thinking in our end and then to best
bounce it off your AI, exactly. Yeah. Just like you would with a partner. I mean, even now you can tell OpenClaw or any of these models, like, start talking to me, and then it gets a voice. Just ideate.
I think apart from your intelligence in the technology side, I'm also curious, what are the daily habits you do that you believe contribute to your success or contribute to your workflow the most?
So I used to say yes a lot, and I ended up doing like 100 hours of meetings a week. Now it's like I do my own schedule, what gives me energy, because the most important thing is for me to design architectures and flows and coordinate my teams that I trust. The other thing, is getting good sleep. Like I used to sleep 4 hours a night. Now I sleep steady 7 hours a night every night. I didn't think it was a big deal. It turns out it was a big deal. I was operating like...
And what are the turning point for you to be able to say more no's?
So again, I came like a couple of years ago, I was thinking about it, and I was running a top AI company, and I was like, do I really want to build media AI? I'll build a Hollywood equivalent studio, and I'll build a holodeck and all sorts. And I was like, I don't really want to do that. I don't really enjoy being this type of CEO. Instead, what I should do is, the AI job apocalypse is coming. This technology is going to be crazy. Someone has to build sovereign AI. Nobody's building that stack and making it so that people own it. So I will build that, but I can do that in a very different way because the nature of open source allows for spread beyond anything.
Yeah.
Having a great team means that you can rely on them. And again, what am I good at? I'm really good at designing these systems and understanding where things are going to go. I've got a great track record on it. So I have to devote myself to it, which means I can say no to anything that I think will be draining on my energy as opposed to increasing my energy. I'm fortunate that I can do that, but everyone has to find the place where they find what they're good at, what they like, and where they can add value. And usually it's in the places where your energy goes up versus down.
Yeah. Yeah, I think seeing you can really feel you are in the flow of your life, of your work. You are doing things you are passionate about. And, not everybody at this moment in their life, they are finding this flow. They may be settled down for something they don't feel fully aligned. So in your experience, what are the ways for people truly aligned with the thing they are doing? And what are the right feeling? What are the feeling they know maybe they should try something else?
Well, you kind of do know. It's because you direct yourself. Again, that Japanese concept of ikigai. Do what you like, what you're good at, where you add value, and other people believe that too. That's happiness is in the middle of that. One of the key things here is that most people work to live, and they live to work, and it becomes their identity. But when you realize that a change unlike any that you've ever seen is occurring, the singularity is coming near, AI will transform society, then you can start to think about goals. Like, what is my goal? My goal is to increase the intelligence of humanity. It's to give every child an AI so they're never alone and they can achieve their best. Like, that motivates me, and I know how to do it because I've spent the time thinking. It took a full year of thinking to do it. Like my book, The Last Economy, I had to design a whole new system of economics for this. Like, what happens if you don't have utility or general equilibrium? Most people don't take a step back and think, why am I really here? What am I actually aiming towards and going? Instead, it's like I go through the motions to achieve something like everyone else. They don't have a goal that they're oriented around for a time of change. Instead, it's a goal for a time of no change. I'm going to go through this and retire, then have fun. No, you're not. You're going to be old. This is the most exciting time ever. If you can get something that excites you and you can find like-minded people, and then you go to where the energy flows, then you will be happy. And again, now you have the technology and tools that previously you had to convince people to come and join you. Now you can convince AIs with a little bit of electricity and a few tokens to come help you.
And when you think back in your life, what you would say is the cornerstone stories of events that happened in your life to make you into such a passionate and also clear thinker?
Well, I was a high-flying hedge fund manager. I started being a hedge fund manager at 23, actually. So I was one of the youngest ever. And I was like, oh, this is fantastic. It's all fun. Nothing wrong. I've got my Oxford degree and everything like that. And then my son was diagnosed. It takes you take a step back. What's important? I quit. And it's very difficult to quit sometimes, but apparently for me it's a bit easier when you realize the world's going another way. So there was one quit. Then it was launching stability, and then literally take another step back and think, where am I really going? What's my direction? And where am I needed? Again, quit. Now I know what I'm going to do for the rest of my life, which is I'm going to help sovereign AI everywhere, increase the intelligence of humanity, leveraging the skills that I've built over so long with the people that are like-minded alongside me. And it takes time to that. I mean, it took me 20 odd years to figure that out.
What are your, advice for the entrepreneur out there or for the people who really want to be better themselves?
I would say, again, it's very difficult to get out of connection with thinking about this. The most beautiful thing is when you create together with other people. So I give the example of you eat alone, you eat with your family, you make dinner with your family. If you do the third, you'll have a stronger family. If you vibe code, you can vibe code by yourself, or you can build things with others. Your children, your nieces, like again, make it family kind of events. Don't forget about people in all of this, and really take advantage of the wonder of what we have today. You've been told throughout your life that you're not creative, that you can't create, that you can't make a difference. Now anyone can make a difference, unlike anything you've ever seen before. You just got to be passionate and apply yourself and find other people to go along the way. It's the most exciting time ever. So, like, I'm really passionate about this area. Let's create the most beautiful interactive website about South Californian hotels. I don't know, or about deforestation in the Amazon. And you get together with some friends and you're building it together with your own kind of claws or your own replets or your own AI agents. That's a much more fun thing than doing it by yourself, because the AI is still not quite good enough. Just like it's so much fun. I'll give you another example. Do you have a favorite book that's not been made a movie?
Not the maker. I do have one. It's called The Dream Maker. So it's about it's like a Sophie's story. Like it's a philosophy turned into a story kind of thing.
So why wouldn't you get together with your friends and make that movie with generative AI?
That's a good point.
But how fun would that experience be? Whiteboarding, ideating, doing different designs, different styles, creating characters. And so, just like sometimes I used to shoot movies with my friends, little ones, as a comedy troupe. It was so much fun building stuff together.
Yeah.
But you could never visualize it because the props were a bit crappy, so you had to kind of imagine it. Yeah. Just like when you're growing up and you're playing with... Now, literally, you can have an output and then make that movie and put it on a showing to your friends and family.
Maybe in the future, there will be a new form of amusement park. People just go together to creating something, with AI.
But again, like
beautiful.
Today, you can go with your friends and you can make a wonderful music album using Suno Udio with music videos. Now, nobody listening to this would have thought of that. But I'm telling you now, if you go and do it, it'll be a lot of fun.
I think our job as a media is to make sure is we want to contribute for the good influence in this world. So people actually, I believe we are rose glasses sometimes.
Yeah.
But I think it's important to have some good news out there, not only focus on the fear.
Yeah, the positive views of the future. Like here, we just had the X Prize Vision Prize to create positive stories of the future. That's what we've got to do, because again, there's the terrifying stuff and that's all fine, but it's the most wonderful time to exist ever.
Thank you, Emad, for your time.
My pleasure.
Thank you for watching this new episode of Humanware Project. So that we can bring out more amazing content like this one to you, please like and subscribe. Your support means the world to us.